Yes, we can.
Are you aware that at the end of 2014, there were nearly 140 million active lines in Nigeria's mobile market? This gave rise to the use of dual SIM phones, with Nigeria being the world's biggest market for such phones.
Of course, there's very little consumers can do about the state of their network coverage. However, this next piece tends to know if there's a market solution to the inconvenience of carrying more than one dual SIM phones. Take a listen. Okay.
We apologize for the audio glitch in that report. We'll bring it back shortly. Let us briefly take a look at some news making headlines. Bandits abduct over 150 pupils in the Chinkun local government area of Kaduna State. The incident occurred around 8 a.m. on Thursday within the earlier primary school in Kuriga, with the head teacher and other staff reportedly among the victims. I
think that's one of the things that the former GIG was talking about. You know, when you have this community policing where people can be able to, you know, identify the people who in their community that are perpetrating this evil violence. I think
a very sad one. Primary school papers.
I think a very sad one. And we'll go to organized labor remaining divided over what the new minimum wage should be, as both unions demanding constraining figures for the new minimum wage. While the National Labour Congress is proposing 709,000 as minimum wage for workers, the Trade Union Congress is demanding for at least 447,000. Wow! They say a house divided against itself cannot stand.
I don't know what to make of this, really. There was some months ago where we heard of a 1 million naira minimum wage request, and now we have these two conflicting figures. Well, tomorrow you might hear that they are coming up with another figure. Well, Nigeria has introduced new measures aimed at revamping investment in the country's oil and natural gas sector, as President Tinubu signs executive orders to introduce tax credit for some onshore and shallow water locations.
I think that's a very good one, and of course, it's a welcome development. And Nigeria's government has threatened to revoke the license of electricity distributors for undersupplying customers, causing widespread power outage that lasts 4 hours across the country. I think this really needs to be dealt with.
It's more than 4 hours anyway. A lot of people are battling heat. I don't even want to begin.
Abuja, for example.
Nigeria is now the first country to receive the new Men 5 meningitis vaccine from the Vaccine Alliance-funded global stockpile, with a shipment delivered by the United Nations Children's Fund. This milestone achievement will help the response on the ongoing outbreak of meningitis across some local government in Jigawa State.
Interesting one there. I think it's something that we really need to look at. And when you look at getting this, when we look at this meningitis and something that really...
It's usually prevalence in most rural communities in the state.
You know, of course, let's now talk a bit of health now. Despite efforts to raise awareness and ensure that discrimination against the people living with HIV is brought down to zero, many persons with HIV continue to endure the realities of living with a disease that people still consider to be infectious through normal ways.
Well, in this next piece, we explore the lives of some people who have to live with the stigma and discrimination that comes with living with HIV virus.
We live with HIV. Our parents don't tell us we are taking drugs for HIV. We grow only to know that we have been living with HIV.
Aaron Sunday's story of harrowing experiences mirrors the magnitude of the stigma many of the people living with HIV and AIDS face on a daily basis. He speaks on the dangers of discrimination.
When we take our drugs, we take it with the fear that if our colleagues see this drug, what will be the fate of ourselves in that school? knowing that they might know that this is HIV. I was diagnosed with HIV 2005. I didn't know it was HIV. Even my parents didn't know it was HIV. The white woman that knew that this is HIV said, I can't allow this boy to be with you people. If I leave him, he will die.
Stella has
to the stigma index. So,
she has lived with HIV, especially work discrimination.
The mere hearing of HIV is threatening and scary. You go to the facility, you see people living with HIV are being separated and circulated in a corner, in a ward, in a cubicle, that nobody wants to attend to them. When attending to them, you see doctors, nurses putting 10 gloves.
We sought to explore this in real time by taking our camera out on the streets of Abuja to ask one basic question.
What if the person is your family member? You will not abandon the person because of health issues. Okay, so you show them love at that particular time. They need more love, they need more attention, they need more care at that time. So it's really important to show them care. So you can actually, I can actually share things with that person.
I can relate with them, play with them, eat with them.
UNAIDS says though they have recorded progress in reducing new HIV infections, the progress on ending discrimination is slow.
You may have drugs, but because of the stigma and discrimination, especially from the healthcare professional, so they would not have access to those services. They would not take the pills, they would not be virally suppressed, and then they would die, or they continue in transmitting the infection.
Although Nigeria has made great strides in reducing infections, there is still a long way to go in ending some of the issues that still affect the lives of people living with HIV and AIDS.